Is there any new developments on Kobe's ankle?
Well, he sprained it last night. If you weren't there,
Right.
he sprained it at the end of the game.
But I mean, I guess since this morning, as far as
No,
the
it
progress.
hasn't changed at all.
Have you talked to him at all?
Yes,
You think he'll play tomorrow?
he says he'll play.
It's usually an indicator that he will.
Yes, yeah, he usually does.
What does the medical staff say?
He won't let them deal with it.
What's he been doing with it? Electrostim, that type of stuff?
Ice, yeah, variety of stimulation, massage, to work out the swelling.
Phil, how disappointed were you in the rebounds and the second chance points? I know you mentioned it last night a little bit, but a day later, does it still irk you?
I wasn't, we weren't overwhelmed on the offensive boards, but they knocked the balls loose. And, those, what they term as 50-50 balls, they got them last night instead of us, and it made a big difference in the game. The lopsided nature of their second chance points are, I think, what's unusual. We had 4, they had 20 out of 9 offensive rebounds, and they had 12. So that disparity is pretty big.
Disappointing, obviously. And how do you fix it?
I think it's just a matter of being aggressive, and they play with more desperation than we did.
Even though there's different years, is the series against Oklahoma City and the series against Houston 2 years ago, is that having
No
a similar
similarities,
feel?
none. New Orleans is about another 2-hour flight away, an hour and a half flight away. That's about all.
It was a late night for you guys getting in close to 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
What was the tone, tenor of today's practice after that late night?
Well, everybody's a little later. This isn't time we normally practice, so that's unusual. But I will tell you this, the State Department plane was landing at the same time we were, so I know that the government's working for you, even though the Lakers aren't.
Do they keep you in a holding pattern while they're staying?
No, they landed after we did.
Phil, you've had effort has been an issue in 2 games out of 4.
No, now stop. I don't want to use the word effort. I didn't use that word. I said desperation. Desperation. It's not the same as effort.
Is that the same as urgent?
Similar, but not the same.
Is it
You haven't had enough in 2 games out of 4, and then it's been an issue before. The fact that it repeats all the time, isn't that a concern in and of itself at this time of year?
Not unusual for this team.
Why is that?
I know that.
Well, we played with a certain, I won't use that word. We certain kind of calmness about the beginning of the game, and developed a lead, and they had to get desperate, and they fought back and got the game even again. And then we developed an 8-point lead later on in the second period, and then they closed out the half at 12-zip and took the lead going in at half. That really spelled the desperation nature that they played with, and our inability to rise to the occasion and squelch that. When we had that 8-point lead, okay, they got 2, match that. And that's been the nature of this ball club, and how you play in the playoffs. So we just had to raise our level a little bit.
Phil, what would you say to the characterization they're too happy with themselves too often?
No, they were somber. They understood the nature of what we had to do. I thought they came out with exactly the purpose that we wanted to have. They played the first 6 minutes, 8 minutes extremely well. They, went back in the second half and did the second quarter, did the things we wanted to do. The end game or the second half situation, you have to hand the New Orleans team credit for coming out with big plays at big times, and we'll come back and get the ball game in order. They find a way to find a special play, a 3-point play, or a 3-point shot, or something that went really well for them.
Whatever's going on in their minds.
That's human nature. Yeah, you can't complain about that. That's human nature.
Phil, whatever's going on in their minds, it's beyond your control, right?
Who's control? Who's there? The Hornets or the Lakers? No, we control our minds. We're really a good mind control.
Is there an adjustment remaining that you guys could apply to Chris Paul that you haven't used in the first 4 games?
Yeah, that's not what's bothering us. Really, the reality is, we're bothered by Ariza and Landry's first half. That's what really bothers us, is that our defense was very ineffective at that particular time. We're paying attention to Chris Paul. He's making big plays, and he'll make big plays. But those type of things, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about the other things we can do something about.
What adjustments need to go into play for Louise and Landry?
Play defense on them.
Because would you point anything in particular as far as the disconnect between how you guys matched up with those two players specifically?
Matchups are, they're all right. That's not an issue. It's that we have to pay attention to what we have to do, our assignments.
Were the defensive flaws parallel in games 1 and 4?
Yes. They were.
Phil, do you think this team doesn't necessarily come to play until they start to see their own blood?
Well, they certainly play better when they're in a desperate mode. There's no doubt about that. But, we've had times in the season where we go out and do the job we were required to do. But this particular night we did not fulfill it all the way through.
At some point, do you tempt fate, though? At some point, can you keep them playing that way?
Who knows? It's always a possibility.
Kobe's ankle get really swollen on the flight. Was that a problem today?
Say again.
Kobe's ankle did it swell up on the flight? Was that a problem?
He had various, game ready, icing, ice buckets, massage. He had all kinds of things going on, and taped ankle during the flight, so it wasn't really that swollen.
Will he go and get a performance so far in this series? Is he back to where he needs to be, or is he still a little discombobulated out there?
I thought he played relatively well. He did finish the game well last night, but I thought he played well enough. But, I know Powell would tell you that he wants to do better on the boards. That's really an issue for him right now. But his offense seems to have found itself, and he's playing much better.
Is Kobe going to get any X-rays or MRI on the ankle?
He's right now, it's not. We're trying to convince him that it might be a good idea. But
Is it one of those things where maybe he doesn't want to know?
doesn't matter, he's going to play anyway. That's his answer.